Testing 1, 2. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. There I am. How am I? I'm doing pretty well, actually. I started going to yoga again. Painful. That's what going back to yoga is like. There's a yoga studio near my place that does 90-minute hot yoga sequences. That is, it's like 110 degrees. It's intense. It's like it's an experience. Hi, everybody. It's nice to see all of you. Let me see. I rearranged some of my studio, so stuff isn't in the same place as where I put it. Cheese! Oh, God. It's time for cheese. Oh, hi. Thank you. Yeah, it's tough. I'm hiding it well with the headphones. But if I took off these headphones, ooh. I'm growing out the hair. Yes, I'm just seeing how long I can get it until I'm so annoyed that I have to hack it all off. Man bun, right? You know, I could have been in a boy band if some enterprising producer in the early 90s could have found me when I was a young teenager. I totally could have done that, but nope. I will be releasing more sleep audios on Quinn. Yeah, that's the plan. There are many more. There are a number more that of where that came from. Saying please in French. It could be. It depends on how familiar you are with the person. S'il vous plaît or s'il te plaît. What was the question, Arinel? Have I listened to the new original with Victoria yet? No, I haven't. But it seems like everybody's loving it. All right. Once. Yeah, I know. It's getting there. I can officially put my hair in my mouth, which is long for me. My TMI of the day. You know, I've had a conversation recently with somebody about TMI. That there are certain levels of TMI. Uh, you know, I mean, I feel like there's certain TMI things that I would rather not get into. Not in this space. But I do have a TMI, I suppose, which is that I don't know if SR Hazard is on there, but I accidentally put one of her beautiful cups through the dishwasher, and I know I wasn't supposed to do that, so I'm really sorry. It doesn't seem like it's hurt it, but yeah. Doesn't seem like it's been hurt at all, but I know that we're not supposed to do that. I'm doing great. No, it's not. It doesn't appear to be damaged. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Ivory. Nice to see you. What's been the highlight of my week? I think the highlight has been uh, really getting to drop back into some new work in the studio. Um, it kind of feels like I've been I've been investing a lot of time in family and just getting my life in order, and getting back into the studio feels nice. No, I suppose for people listening, for some of you who may or may not be aware, I have announced that I am retiring from doing the more Orcus style spicy work. I still plan on doing audio work, but it's going to be under a different name and sort of a different brand. So this live is a chance to, to hang out, share some stories, enjoy some time together. Yeah. There will be, a lot of content that already exists on the patron site will be released on Quinn as well. So there's a lot of stuff that still is going to be showing up on Quinn over time. But my content creation as Orcus is going to be retiring. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, this is only just making room for a really sort of exciting path that I am embarking upon that is going to be a little bit more in line with my soul's calling, so to speak. I am I'm interested in diving more into really deep and mental health supportive audio work. Not that the stuff that I did with Orcus and have done as Orcus has not been mentally supportive, but there's stuff that I'd like to do that isn't as easy to do under this brand. So I'd like to start doing work that is that can really truly be leveraged by professionals in the mental health space. Yeah, so I will in fact be doing. My plan is to do more lives under the new brand. There will be more interaction time, more readings, more meditations, more everything. Yeah. I haven't publicly announced what the new brand is yet. And I don't know that I am going to announce it under the Orcus sphere quite yet. We'll see. But I'll pop up. You'll see me. It'll be around. How about we start with a request from, let's see. Uh-oh. think I need to restart my Discord because something's not showing up. Okay. There we go. The first request is from Phantom, and it is a poem by Catherine Woodwiss, I think. Wait. It's either Rebecca Baldwin or Catherine Woodwiss. And it's called Trauma Permanently Changes Us. This is the big scary truth about trauma. There is no such thing as getting over it. The 5 stages of grief model marks universal stages in learning to accept loss, but the reality is, in fact, much bigger. A major life disruption leaves a new normal in its wake. There is no back to the old me. You are different now. Full stop. This is not a wholly negative thing. Healing from trauma can also mean finding new strength and joy. The goal of healing is not a papering over of changes in an effort to preserve or present things as normal. It is to acknowledge and wear your new life, warts, wisdom, and all, with courage. If you want, feel free to throw requests up on here too. If I see it, I'll try and read it. Let's see. Trying to get this headphone situation figured out here. There we go. You want me to read a chapter of Peter and Wendy? I think I could do that. I'll wait a little bit. I'll be posting this live online, so if you've missed any of it, don't worry. Let's see. I feel like I should share some Orcus stories. I was working for a tech company, and I had been, I'd been working as a project manager for a number of years in the startup space, and I finally got in with a really nice company that was doing trainings for other companies to teach them how to do software process, software agile development, that sort of thing. And there was a meeting where we were trying to demonstrate a situation in a meeting where we were trying to show the proper way to handle a situation versus the improper way to handle a situation. And I'm not sure I remember exactly what it was, but it essentially called for some role play. And they gave me the role play of the asshole executive who was coming down on the designer to, and communicating poorly. So, we didn't rehearse it. We just wrote a little script and we're just like, okay, so, these people are going to read these lines. So we get to the meeting where we do this little role play, and this is in the pandemic, so everybody's on Zoom. And I don't know what happened, but all I know is I just suddenly like dropped into this role, and I I basically like I just read the lines, but I laid into this person who was playing the designer, and she listened to me and was completely speechless for like 2 minutes. Like she was trying to collect herself, trying to like, because yeah, she apparently I got feedback afterwards that I had very good ability to intimidate people. So that was the very first seed of when I realized, oh, I actually have the ability to move people when I want to. So it was sort of after that I, like a few weeks later, that I discovered Gone Wild Audio and had been exploring around. And there are a lot of female creators on Gone Wild Audio, and I sought out the male creators who were the most popular. And at the time, the most popular creators were creators who are no longer on the internet because of some bad behavior. But I got to watch firsthand the downfall of some big creators and watch some of the bad, some of the mistakes that they made and learned from them, which was a powerful thing. And on top of that, I listened to a bunch of their stuff and I was like, I could do that. I bet I could do that better. So that's how Orcus was born. All right, Tigress Katie requests Strength by Agate Ehrenskjold. One stone can balance the building. One needle stitch can cause the pain. A small touch of the fire can burn for sure if the force of the flame is being ignored. A drop of water can dissipate a thirst. A hug from a loved one can erase the pain. Every small thing has an incredible strength that circles around it and never ends. With open mind, go ahead and break the chains which are holding you in the state of vain. Strength is in your mind, in your heart and spirit. Look at the world, touch it, feel it, live it. You should listen. You must hear me out. The world has set up a chain of doubt which you can break as many times as you like if you feel in your heart that you are doing it right. Every small step you manage to take brings your life towards the change. Every small thing has an incredible strength that circles around it and never ends. With open mind, go ahead and break the chains which are holding you in a state of vain. Strength is in your heart, mind, and spirit. Follow your dream. See it. Feel it. Live it. Strength by Agate Ehrenskjold. And, this was sort of a separate thing that happened early on before Orcus really fully came online, was that I had a dream where I was literally sitting in a chair and reading poetry to people online. And I really loved that idea. And here we are. Kind of worked out. I mean, I still plan on doing this. It's going to keep happening. I just have to work up to it because I need to build up a following on the other brand. All right. How about one of the chat requests? You. The Ocean You by Nikita Gill. Every time you think you are broken, know... Oh, hold on. Yeah. All right. Every time you think you are broken, know this. You are never really breaking. No one can break an ocean, darling. All you are doing is breaking the glass that is holding you back, diving deeper into your own depths, discovering yourself in pockets of the most somber waves, rebuilding your heart with coral, with seaweed, with moon-colored sand dust. So stop trying to hold yourself back inside that glass. It was never meant to hold you. Instead, break it. Shatter it into 1,000 pieces and become who you were always meant to be. An ocean, whole and proud. The Ocean You by Nikita Gill. I think that's one of my favorites of hers. Let's see. What am I going to read? I think we should hear what Khalil Gibran has to say on love. Then said Almitra, "Speak to us of love." And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his heart may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so he is for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if, in your fear, you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives not but itself, and takes not from itself, but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed. For love is sufficient unto love. When you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I am in the heart of God. And think not you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires: to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody into the night, to know the pain of too much tenderness, to be wounded by your own understanding of love, to bleed willfully, willingly, and joyfully, to wake at dawn with a winged heart, and give thanks for another day of knowing, to rest at the noon hour and meditate love's ecstasy, to return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips. Khalil Gibran, the prophet on the subject of love. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. I mean, suffering of any kind is really the great growth, the great catalyst for growth. It's like the more we suffer, the more we have to grow in order to keep ourselves going. I will probably still do audiobook narration, yes, but it'll be in a different genre. The spicy stuff is going to live on the internet for a while. So if you want to keep listening to it, you're welcome to. It'll be around. I saw a request for Egrets by Mary Oliver. Where the path closed down and over, through the scumbled leaves, fallen branches, through the knotted catbrier, I kept going. Finally, I could not save my arms from thorns. Soon the mosquitoes smelled me, hot and wounded, and came wheeling and whining. And that's how I came to the edge of the pond, black and empty, except for a spindle of bleached reeds at the far shore, which, as I looked, wrinkled suddenly into 3 egrets. A shower of white fire. Even half asleep, they had such faith in the world that had made them, tilting through the water unruffled, sure, by the laws of their faith, not logic. They opened their wings softly and stepped over every dark thing. Regrets by Mary Oliver. Thanks for that, Elisa. Have I done Edgar Allan Poe? I might have to do some. I Will Wait by Mumford and Sons. Well, I came home like a stone, and I fell heavy into your arms. These days of dust, which we've known, will blow away with this new sun. But I'll kneel down, wait for now, and I'll kneel down, know my ground, and I will wait for you. So break my step and relent. You forgave, and I won't forget. Know what we've seen, and him with less. Now in some way shake the excess. 'Cause I will wait for you. Now I'll be bold as well as strong, and use my head alongside my heart. So take my flesh and fix my eyes, a tethered mind free from the lies. And I'll kneel down, wait for now. I'll kneel down, know my ground. Raise my hands, paint my spirit gold, and bow my head. Keep my heart slow. 'Cause I will wait for you. I Will Wait by Mumford and Sons. I had a nightmare that I drowned in an ocean of orange soda, but thankfully, it was only a fantasy. I never wanted to believe that my dad was stealing from his job as a road worker. But when I got home, all the signs were there. Uh, my favorite soda flavor? Uh-oh. I feel like this is a test. Does my favorite soda flavor reveal something about me as a person? I have to think about it. I'm just gonna go with the easy one. My favorite soda flavor is root beer floats. Root beer float. I mean, who can go wrong with a good root beer float, honestly? The best part about a root beer float is when the ice cream sort of crystallizes a little bit, and then it has that kind of icy but creamy sort of texture to it. It's yeah, yeah, it's the best. Root beer smells medicinal. I wonder if that's sort of like people who think who say cilantro tastes like soap. I wonder if that. I wonder why nobody has made a cilantro soda. I want to know, why is it that you're eating soap so that you know what it tastes like? I'm on to you. I'm on to you. Well, I mean, I I didn't mean to open up the soap eating confession. All right, all right. Share with me all of your soap eating exploits. I didn't realize that I attracted the soap eating audience. I am so sorry for everyone who has soap trauma. It's certainly not. My dad had soap trauma too. He used to tell me about it. Oh, man. Did you hear the joke about butter? I'm not going to tell you because it might spread. Did you hear about the actor whose foot went through the floorboards? It's okay. He was just going through a stage. All right. The next request. Is from Arenal. It's called Climate, by Whitney Hansen. When are you going to learn what is special about that place is that you put your heart there? What is special about that time is that you put your heart there. What is special about that experience is that you put your heart there. What is special about that person is that you put your heart there. What this means for you is that you hold the power. The key to moving forward is to start relocating your heart. The key to discovering an extraordinary life is to invest your heart in the right places. From Climate by Whitney Hansen. All right, I heard people requesting it, so we're just gonna do it. Once upon a midnight dreary. That's not Boston. Once upon a midnight dreary. That's not even Boston either. I'm actually trying here. Hold on. What's a Boston accent? It's a Boston. It's Boston, right? Hey, start your car. The Boston is no R's, right? God. Once upon a midnight dreary. How do you, if there are no R's in Boston, in the Boston accent, how do you say dreary? Dreary. Oh my God. All right. Boston. Oh God. Are there any Bostonites in this chat? Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. To some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. All right, I know there was a little bit of Australian in there. This is my biggest problem. I struggle with maintaining accents in certain ways. Oh, was that New Yorker? All right. Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping in my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, this it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that scarce I was sure I heard you. Here I opened the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal had ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, some again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and a flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with a mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpture bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, that what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled the cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door, then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining. On the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining in the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh, quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God that we both adore, tell this soul which with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into tempest, and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that thy soul hath spoken. Leave thy loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take my beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming,
and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
That one's quite involved to read. Thanks, everybody. I'm trying to think of, let's see. I think one of my favorite, let's see. I'm pretty sure my favorite TikTok that I did is still, and it's like, it's kind of a random one. It's probably not even, it's not even one that I really spoke in. I mean, you know, You Will Survive This is one of my favorites, for sure. I think one of my all-time favorites is one where I'm actually duetting someone. I think it's a duet with this creator Jelioso, where I'm doing a train car scene and I'm lip syncing, so I'm not even talking. But it was a lot of fun to do, just to try something different. And I think the line starts, "Invite me to dinner, Frank." And then he's just trying to figure out how to invite her to dinner in the proper way. Yeah, I loved doing the No More Ducks to Give. Oh yeah, Missy Elliott. I want to do more of that kind of stuff too. I'm going to be doing more. I do want to try to do more mashups. I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. I really enjoyed that one though. How to Eat a Banana. That one was my breakout video. I was like, all right, I got that idea, and I was just like, this is terrible, but I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And it happened. And I believe the top voted comment on that video is, "What in the Mormon boys?" So, yeah, I think that comment ultimately finally led me to switching to the black shirt. My most viral video, it's either, I mean, it's either the this person has no more F's to give, or it's the cute aggression one. I think it's the cute aggression one. This is a blind react. If you've been called cute, yeah. And Gen Z hated that one, but they felt very motivated to comment and keep the algorithm going on the video to let me know that they didn't like it. Thank you. I appreciate the Gen Z love. The TikToks, the voicemails did well too. I think the best one was the phone on vibrate one. All right, Sammy, where's your request? I will read your request. It's a poem by Sammy called The Inner Child. The inner child whispers in my ear, a voice from a distant past. It longs to be seen, to be heard, to heal the wounds that still last. With tender care I turn inward, listening to the pain and the fear. I hold the child gently in my arms and let it know that I am near. Together we journey through memories, revisiting the moments of old. We grieve the losses and celebrate the joys as we witness the stories unfold. Through the tears and the laughter we grow and we learn to forgive. The inner child begins to heal and a new chapter begins to live. With each step forward we gain strength and our hearts begin to sing, for the healing of the inner child is the beginning of everything. By Sammy, The Inner Child. Yeah, I think, I just want to, on the live, acknowledge and thank all the moderators, especially Sammy, but all the people who have helped to run the community, the Discord community, including Alyssa and Aranel and Amanda. It's been it's an interesting line of work to be a moderator, and I just want to thank them for the help.
I love you too. Authenticata requests a poem by Uli K. It Was You by Uli K. I came to you with my wounds. I came to you with my wounds, and you saw my worthiness. I came to you with my broken and brittle, and you saw my beautiful. I came to you with walls so high, I thought, no one would ever dare to climb them. You told me you only saw mountains, and that had yet to be moved. And so you moved them. I felt alone, and you invited me in. It was cold, and you held out your hands like a fire, and I began to understand that there was nowhere I could go, nowhere I could run to where your presence would not be made known. You were in my deep waters, my unknown places, my breathless void. It was you all along. It was you. Thank you for listening. There's a lot more exploration that is in the future, for sure. It's just, it's going to be in a little bit different vein. Has it been hard closing this chapter? Yeah, I've had some grieving moments of letting go of a certain identity. But like I said, I have also had moments of great excitement because it's opening something new up. It's a little scary. It's a little bit like leaping off a cliff and hoping that the parachute opens. But I've done this before. I did it with Orcus. So I know what it's like down there. Yeah, I will not be publishing any more books under the Orcus auditory brand. I am open to doing narration under the new brand in the future, but I won't be tackling the romance genre necessarily. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm still going to be around. It's just going to be under a different name. What is the new brand? Well, I'm not ready to announce it here, but it will be launching it is actually in the midst of launching. I'm just sort of putting the finishing touches on a few things before I really start doing a content push. Miss Smog's voice. Hello.
I don't, I've never really used a social media manager. I mean, I'm just a one-man show for the time being. Miss Earthquake requests Late Arrival by Charles Simic, one of my favorite authors. The world was already here, serene in its otherness. It only took you to arrive on the late afternoon train to where no one awaited you. A town no one ever remembered because of its drabness, where you lost your way searching for a place to stay in a maze of identical streets. It was then that you heard, as if for the very first time, the sound of your own footsteps under a church clock, which had stopped just as you did. Between two empty streets, aglow in the afternoon sunlight, two modest stretches of infinity for you to wonder at before resuming your walk. Late Arrival by Charles Simic. Lenore requests, Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. That is where you came from and where you'll return. You came here to learn personal love. Universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity, lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up, often. You didn't come here to be perfect. You already are. You came here to be gorgeously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again into remembering. Yeah, that one's great. A good reminder. Although I would argue that our unconditional love is not necessarily separate from all those other kinds of love. I would say it encapsulates all of it. But, yeah, you might be right. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what's also funny is that I got this phone that like right around when I started Orcus, and the phone has been well used, and it's been I've done pretty much all of my content on it, and the screen is cracked, and it's been well used, and I finally am getting a new phone, and so I'm going to be starting to make new content with the new camera and the new things. It's going to be great. Becca, let's see. Actually, this seems bright. There we go. That's a little better. Becca requests Girls of the Wild by Nikita Gill. They won't tell you fairy tales of how girls can be dangerous and still win. They will only tell you stories where girls are sweet and kind and reject all sin. I guess to them it's a terrifying thought, a Red Riding Hood who knew exactly what she was doing when she invited the wild in. I think no, I'm not going to do a live haircut. All right, Aaron L. All right. Bad news. The cheese book isn't on this bookshelf. I'd have to get out. I think it's in another part of the house. I have to go get it. Oh my God. You all are. I'll be right back. Let's see. How about The Really Ugly Duckling? Once upon a time there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings. The 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, what a nice-looking bunch of ducklings. All except that one. Boy, he's really ugly. The really ugly duckling heard these people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger and look better than anything in the pond. Well, as it turns out, he was just a really ugly duckling, and he grew up to be just a really ugly duck. The end. There he is. More stories by the Stinky Cheese Man. Yes. No more removing stinky cheese, man. I've learned my lesson. All right. A poem by Cody Brett, requested by Brina. I know it hurts. It's a very strange feeling how someone can be in your life for months or even years, and then one day, all of a sudden, not be there anymore. Maybe the relationship ended on good terms, or maybe it was completely catastrophic. Either way, it's so bizarre how relationships can change so vast and rapidly. And you know what? You may not be at peace with what happened between the two of you, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes the end of a relationship can literally be one of the hardest things we go through in life. I want you to know it's okay that your heart still hurts because of what happened. You've made a lot of memories with this person, and these memories that you have made is something you can't erase, no matter how hard you try. Whether you like it or not, they are part of your story. I know looking on these memories can be hard, and you may wish you could forget them, but instead of forgetting, maybe we should try and focus on what came from the relationship. You two joined paths for a reason. Maybe you walked through some of the hardest times together. Maybe you understood each other in a way that no one else ever did. Maybe you encouraged one another to be strong or to embrace who you genuinely were as a person. Or maybe your relationship with them opened your eyes to what you truly needed in your life. Regardless of what the reasoning was, it's okay to acknowledge that. That person meant a lot to you. And it's okay if they still do. It's also okay if they aren't in your life anymore. What a lot of people don't understand is not every relationship we encounter will last a lifetime. You shouldn't be lingering in the past questioning why everything happened the way it did. What you need to do is to take what you've learned from that relationship and move forward in your life. Knowing there are other relationships that will give you exactly what you've always dreamed of and more. I need you to know that you're not going to feel this way forever. You will continue to move forward, and you will continue to grow with every day that passes. Take my advice, and remember, sometimes the people you wanted as part of your story are only meant to be a chapter. Cody Brett. Thank you, Brina. And I know that one too well. Yes, multiple beverages. Multiple cups of tea are needed for long live sessions. I think this is a good moment maybe to take a deep breath and feel
the space around you. Feel your fingertips. Feel the clothes on your body. And allow yourself to sink into a relaxed place, a safe place, feeling the moments between the moments stretching out. You can feel all those thoughts about the day floating around, not necessarily getting too hooked on any one of them, but just letting them be. And if you allow yourself, you might be able to hear a few things. You might be able to feel the air on your face and hear the wind blowing through the trees. You might be able to smell a hint of cedar and sage, the sound of wind chimes in the distance. You might hear the crackling fire in the fireplace. Laying down on a really soft couch, a cloud. The scent of a sturdy cabin around you. And if you allow it, you can invite somebody in who deeply loves you. Someone who cares about you. Someone who you know you feel safe with. To come and snuggle with you a little bit. Someone who knows exactly what to say to you to make you feel safe and held. And remember that in this place, touch is safe. A touch is nurturing. A touch is invigorating. And you can feel that person expressing their support for you, telling you that you're doing a great job, that you're making it, and that each step you take, you get a little stronger, a little wiser. And thank you for taking this little moment to take a break from the world and just drop in. Thank you. Thanks, Sabrina. Black Widow. Oh, hello. Black Widow requests a quote by Walt Disney that says, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." I think it will. I think it's going to be great. I'm excited. And yes, I am actually drinking turmeric tea today. Thank you, Black Widow. Thanks, Dottie. I will still be releasing content on Quinn. Yes. There will be a number of sleep audios coming that way. It's a tea. It's a type of tea. It's not just the spice powder in a hot mix. No. I have gotten a lot of concerns about the new transition that access to sleep audios will be lost. And I want to just say that I think sleep audios are my first priority for the new brand. So you will be covered. Phyla requests We Have Come to Be Danced by Jewel Matheson. We've come to be danced, not the pretty dance. Not the pretty pick me dance, but the claw our way back into the belly of the sacred, sensual animal dance. The unhinged, unplugged, cat is out of its box dance. The holding the precious moment in the palms of our hands and feet dance. We have come to be danced, not the jiffy booby, shake your booty for him dance, but the wring the sadness from our skin dance. The blow the chip off our shoulder dance, the slap the apology from our posture dance. We have come to be danced, not the monkey see, monkey do dance. 1, 2, dance like you. 1, 2, 3, dance like me dance. But the grave robber, tomb stalker, tearing scabs and scars open dance. The rub the rhythm raw against our soul dance. We have come to be danced. Not the nice, invisible, self-conscious shuffle, but the matted hair-flying voodoo mama, shaman-shaken ancient bones dance. The strip us from our casings, return our wings, sharpen our claws and tongues dance. The shed dead cells and slip into the luminous skin of love dance. We have come to be danced. Not the hold our breath and wallow in the shallow end of the floor dance, but the meeting of the Trinity, the body, breath, and beat dance. The shout hallelujah from the top of our thighs dance. The mother may I, yes you may, take 10 giant leaps dance. The ollie ollie oxen free, free, free dance. The everyone can come to our heaven dance. We have come to be danced. Where the kingdoms collide in the cathedral of flesh, to burn back into the light, to unravel, to play, to fly, to pray, to root and skin sanctuary. We have come to be danced. We have come. Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you, Anne Victoria. Thanks for joining me. Amanda requests an old favorite. I think this was an early poem that I did on TikTok. Am I still going to do rambles on Patreon? I am planning on doing some rambles. There's still some more things that I need to share and say, but I will be sharing a lot of all kinds of content on the new one. So stay tuned. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you about mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, over mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You want to hear the Osho poem that I have? Let's see. Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. First, become alone. First, start enjoying yourself. First, love yourself. First, become so authentically happy that if nobody comes, it doesn't matter. You are full, overflowing. If nobody knocks at your door, it is perfectly okay. You are not missing. You are not waiting for somebody to come and knock at the door. You are at home. If somebody comes, good, beautiful. If nobody comes, that too is beautiful and good. Then move into relationship. Now you move like a master, not like a beggar. Now you move like an emperor, not like a beggar. And the person who has lived in their loneliness will always, and the person who has lived in their aloneness will always be attracted to another person who is also living their aloneness beautifully. Because the same attracts the same. When two masters meet, masters of their being, of their aloneness, happiness is not just added, it is multiplied. It becomes a tremendous phenomenon of celebration, and they don't exploit, they share. They don't use each other, rather on the contrary, they both become one and enjoy the existence that surrounds them. I think I've got enough voice for a few more. That was Alone by Osho. I don't know if it's really a poem, but you can look up First Become Alone by Osho. I get a lot of that. Adieu, rabbit chicken. Ivory requests Stranger on the Early Morning Train by Rachel H. There is a stranger on the train who reminds me too much of you. It is still the early morning. There's still so much to do. We don't have much in common except a shared awe for the storm, yet it morphs into conversation, both phenomena out of the norm. So we talk, and I don't tell them about this sense of déjà vu. They will never know. They remind me of someone I once knew. We are headed different places, but for a moment we share the same time, like that short but sacred feeling of being yours and you being mine. I think that's what I miss the most, just the time we spent alone, knowing I have memories of you that are completely my own. Is this what losing you has come to? Is this the 8th stage of grief, finding you in exchanges destined only to be brief? I wish I could stay on this train longer. There's still so much I don't understand, but instead I say goodbye, and I shake the stranger's hand. I'm grateful that I met them. I'm grateful that I met you. But it is still the early morning. There's still so much to do. Stranger on the Early Morning Train. Thank you, Ivory. Do I have a favorite memory of being Orcus? Honestly, the favorite memories that I have of doing this have been the lives. Hanging out with all of you, and actually getting to interact with people who listen to me is, I mean, it's a gift beyond words, honestly. What was my favorite live? Oh gosh. That's hard to say. Probably the live that I got banned for mentioning a certain website. Wait, did that happen? I can't remember if that happened like, and maybe that was like my first or second live of all. I mentioned the name of a popular spicy content website, and then like a minute later, my feed got cut, and I was banned from doing lives for a week. Yeah. I can't remember if that was New Year's or not. Just Jenna, 1993, requests a thank you note by Long Liev. You have said all the things I need to hear before I knew that I needed to hear them. To be unafraid of all the things I used to fear before I knew I shouldn't fear them. Long Liev. Call Me Q requests a poem by Miss Earthquake that was posted recently on the community. I came for the poetry and stayed for the voice, the ideas, then the steady, heady trickle of hope. I watched others spread chaos, and you didn't shout or spurn. Somehow you were never irritated. You spun chaos into safety, into joy. It was an alchemy I'd never seen. I craved the thrill of being a menace, just for a bit. It was so incredibly cathartic. We certainly gave you plenty to work with. I hope you think of us when someone types in all caps, demands dad jokes, spams emojis and demand, makes an endless string of impossibly bad puns. Forever in the wrong thread, or seeks an answer for a preposterous and silly dilemma. I hope you think of the Darlin Squad, wherever cowboy hats and accents abound. Darlin. I hope you think of me specifically whenever you see a Santa cowboy hat, although I also kind of hope you never again see a Santa cowboy hat. I finally see all of my own worth. Expect love from others, even and especially when I'm not perfect. I'm different, better, bolder, in part because of you. Your magic has ripples. I hope you know that. Thank you for giving me what I needed to make waves. I'll think of you every time there's a knot in my throat, a delicious question of just how brave and brazen I dare to be. I'll also think of you on every grocery run, the insatiable urge to buy powdered peanut butter and seltzer water just to see reverberations of a tweet that will never ever be forgotten. There will always be cookies for you in the Chaos Cave. Sit with us and we'll turn the whole damn thing into a carnival. This is a re-welcoming to the party, my friend. What's your name? Thank you. That's a great one. I would love to read or hear about favorite memories from people. If you want to put it into the Orcus Experience thread on the Discord, for those of you who are in the Discord community, I think that would be fun. I'll share some memories too. You know, I have not yet ever actually run into anyone who recognized me out in public. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I have not actually gotten recognized yet. So well, we'll see. We'll see if that happens in the future. Ginger Snaps requests guaranteed by Eddie Vedder. On bended knee is no way to be free. Lifting up an empty cup, I ask silently that all my destinations will accept the one that's me, so I can breathe. Circles they grow and they swallow people whole. Half their lives they say goodnight to wives they'll never know. Got a mind full of questions and a teacher in my soul. So it goes. Don't come closer or I'll have to go. Holding me like gravity are places that pull. If ever there was someone to keep me at home, it would be you. Everyone I come across in cages they bought, they think of me and my wandering, but I'm never what they thought. Got my indignation, but I'm pure in all my thoughts. I'm alive. Wind in my hair, I feel part of everywhere. Underneath my being is a road that disappeared. Late at night I hear the trees. They're singing with the dead overhead. Leave it to me as I find a way to be. Consider me a satellite forever orbiting. I knew all the rules, but the rules did not know me. Guaranteed. Guaranteed by Eddie Vedder. That's right. Frankie and Joe's ice cream in Seattle. I mean, I don't know. I realize that some people like dairy-based ice cream perfectly well and don't have any problems with it. I personally do have some bodily problems with lactose and dairy products, so I really enjoy plant-based ice cream when I can find it. And so there's an ice cream chain, like a small local ice cream shop called Frankie and Joe's, of which there are a couple of locations, but their ice creams are delicious and do not taste exactly like regular ice cream. So it's great. So I read a poem for my last TikTok before I hopped on for the live, but I think it would be good for me to read it to all of you. This feels appropriate, you know. Let me see if I can find it, because oh, right. It's not on this. It's on this. Doo-doo. Yes. I think this is the poem that I'm going to end on. This is called In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I've ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing that your own life depends on it. And when the time comes to let it go, let it go. In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. So, there are probably a couple of things that I'm still going to do, but I wanted to let everyone know who is still on that I am delaying the release of the final Orcus audio until next week. I'll be releasing a ramble on it soon here. But I do want to thank you all for joining me on this final live. It's been a real treat to do this with you. And we will be continuing to do this in the other brand, in the other sort of identity. But this is the final one for Orcus. So thank you, everybody. This has been a real pleasure. And I'll see you on the other side. I love you too.